Hi, guys. Welcome back. Today I heard the story of Richard Chapman, a 32-year-old man that was locked up by his stepmom for 20 years, where he didn't get to see the light of day. So I figured, you know what? Let's hear about people's experiences with their stepmoms. I hope you enjoy.
My dad would do this thing where we had just gotten social media when I was a preteen. So
Right?
every time a female friend would come over, he would add them on MySpace or Facebook. And I
Awkward.
was like, hey, that makes me uncomfortable. So then he added on my male friends. That wasn't the point.
Right.
Stop doing that. He also would always ask me how old my female friends were, even though it was obvious we were the same fucking age. And like, why do you want to know? Also, he wasn't as happy or personable when a male friend would come over. He kind of, didn't care for that at all. And it wasn't to be protective of me. He just was mad that they were a boy. And the biggest red flag of all that went completely unnoticed for years was the unwarranted comments about my body or how I.
Sounds like her stepdad was a real scuzz bucket.
Evil Stepmother Chronicles. Okay, in this video, you can see this ugly ass dress I'm wearing. I was allowed to go to prom during my freshman year with my senior boyfriend under one condition, and that was my stepmom got to choose the dress and she got to dress me up. So look how ugly this dress is. And it's very noteworthy to mention that at the current time, she owned a formal wear dress shop. So there were the sequence dresses, there were the mermaid style dresses. I had access to really bomb cute dresses, and my evil stepmom ruined it, ruined my fingernails, chose my haircut, or chose my hair. Absolutely awful.
That's really weird. Like, why would a stepmom want to make every choice about the way you look? Did you guys catch something at the beginning of this video? The guy is a senior, the girl is a freshman. When I was in high school, that was common. You would see a lot of the good-looking freshman girls taken by seniors, and you thought it was lame, but you didn't really think it was evil and bad. But today, my question to you guys is, isn't that like really discouraged to have a potential 18-year-old guy with a 15-year-old girl? Nowadays, that seems like that would be really, really discouraged. Tell me what your thoughts are.
I seen this thing just a few minutes ago on Facebook that said foods that traumatize you. And for me, it was sweet potatoes and Thanksgiving dressing. And that's all thanks to my evil stepmother that I had at the time, force feeding it to me as a child until I threw it back up on her.
Ooh, so that one's a tough one. Sometimes kids are picky, right? But you don't want to try to force them to the point where they're throwing it back up on you. What are your guys' thoughts? My thinking is if somebody's under 10, they just might not like all the different flavors associated with Thanksgiving. You got to kind of warm them up to them. But I know some people believe in, you're going to finish your plate regardless. Tell me what your guys' thoughts are.
And then my dad finally intervened and said, "You're dismissed. You don't have to finish that." Um, I will never forget that moment. But it took me years before I even tried dressing ever again, and I'm still to this day very picky with whose I eat. And it's the same thing with sweet potatoes. It was only recently that I tried it, and my sister's like, "No, you have to try mine." And hers is the only one I'll eat simply because it tastes like dessert. It tastes like pumpkin pie. It does not taste like a sweet potato. But it also reminded me of a time after my dad had finally left her, which was a huge happiness in my heart. But she was persistent and still wanted my dad and still tried very, very hard to get my dad, even after she had remarried. My dad had
Wow.
told me of all of her efforts. She had even went as far as reaching out to me on social media and asking for my help getting them back together.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so ladies, tell me what you guys would do if your stepmom that's now divorced from your dad reached out to you to get him back so she wanted your help, but your memories of her were as an evil stepmom. What would you say to her? Let me know. Tell me. I'm interested.
Now, mind you, this is the same woman who used to beat me and my sister and take pictures of it and try
Wow.
to turn my mom into DHS.
Whoa.
She caused a lot of issues and problems with my mom. I mean, it was never civil. It was always horrible times. She beat me and my sister with a wire hanger one night because we were laughing and giggling and not going to bed. But I honestly don't think we were being that loud.
Who does that?
She encouraged her daughter to be mean to me and my sister. My sister is terrified of storms because of the time that my stepsister had made her go outside on a stormy night. It was thundering and lightning, and my sister to this day is terrified of storms. This girl used to drown me and suffocate me. I'm claustrophobic because of it. Highly claustrophobic. I do not like to be in small places. If I can't breathe, it freaks me out.
Right.
And she had the audacity to reach out to me and ask me to help her get back with my dad.
I know, that's crazy.
I will never forget what I said to her. It was not nice, and it probably wasn't the
Tell us.
best version of myself. I was young. I was still a teenager, so I was a little immature. But I basically told this woman to fuck off. She would never, ever get my help because I did not ever want to see that hateful, evil woman with my dad ever again. She needed to stay as far away as from my dad as she could get. If I had anything to do with it, she would never, ever be with my dad again. She deleted me from Facebook, which is good. It was probably for the best. But I had told my dad of some of these incidents, and he never knew. Some of these things that had happened to me and my sister, he never knew about any of them until after he had left my stepmom. Was another issue which I will not talk about, the reason why he left her.
She
It's
cheated,
pretty
probably.
bad. Gross, bad. But I have since then, my stepsister at the time had reached out to my mom and had apologized for all the things that she played a part in, and had told my mom that she was very sorry, and it was because of her mom. Her mom had put her up to this.
Gosh, that would be something. Would you at least forgive your former stepsister if she called up apologizing? I think that's one that you might be able to forgive. But here's the thing. For all you know, that could be the stepmom trying to get back in life or in your life using her daughter.
So I think that I may need to make like an Evil Stepmother chronicle or something. So I did a video a couple of days ago talking about how my ex was on a family vacation with his wife and her children, and my son did not get to go. My ex gets my son for the first part of winter break, and he's really worried that he's not getting a Christmas, which will make me more than irate. But this woman, the stepmother, gave him coal, I found out, 2 years in a row.
Get out.
Coal.
Serious?
And his
No.
dad gave him coal 2 years in a row. So that was okay for both. So I think they...
She must be exaggerating. She must be meaning that they didn't get anything, or do you think they literally gave him a little piece of coal? That can't be.
And her stepmom has been telling everyone that she's her biological mom.
Ooh.
Not just like...
I have so many questions. I have so many questions. The stepmom stole the biomom's birth story, tells everyone she's the biomom. It gives off the vibe of this is a woman that would take a baby from your womb and leave you on the side of the road. That's the feeling I'm getting. Like
Yeah.
the scene from something from The Practice. That's what this is giving. I have a bigger question as to why The stepmom, her husband, this woman's ex, the father of the child, isn't saying anything, isn't correcting this. There's no way. There's no way he doesn't know that she's telling people that she is this little girl's bio mom and taking the traumatic birthing story that applies to this child that the actual bio mom went through and is playing it off as her own, and he doesn't know.
So that's a little weird. Now, if you have a stepmom and they're super close to their stepchildren and somebody says, "Who is that?" and they say, "Oh, that's my daughter," and forgets to say that's my stepdaughter, I don't think that's that crazy, right? Because sometimes you're really close to your stepfolks. But when she's literally taking, your labor pains away from you and telling them in stories and stuff and claiming to be the birth mom, that is kind of odd.
I have so many questions.
Me too.
Like, the little girl's in school, right?
Right.
So that means somebody enrolled her. So if she lives with mom, that means mom would be on the paperwork. So that would send up a lot of red flags for me to see someone claiming to be her bio mom when that's not what's on the paperwork.
Oh,
My
that's
antennas
true.
would go up. Like, oh my God, I have so many questions.
God, that sounds like a Lifetime movie, right? You fool the school into thinking that you're the mom, you've done all the paperwork, when in reality it was the birth mom that did. And then at the end of all those scary Lifetime movies, the stepmom ends up pulling the kid out of school and going on a run across the country, right?
The way I would run to the courthouse to get a restraining order, because this right here would make me feel like my child is not safe. I would not feel safe. This is the vibe this gives off is really, maybe it's just.
No, no, she's looking at it from the mom's point of view. So what would you guys do if all of a sudden your daughter's telling you that her stepmom is telling everyone that that's actually her daughter, right? And all of a sudden, you've got a situation where if the woman's unstable, a little nutso, right? One of these days, she could take your daughter from school and just take off. What are you guys going to do about it? That is kind of scary. Like I said, a good potential Lifetime movie. They probably already have a movie like that on Lifetime. I love watching videos with you guys. If you love watching videos here, hit the thumbs up button and come back tomorrow. We'll do it again.